waking up at 1:30 in the morning when you were just getting sleep, and the night before you only got 2 hours of sleep because you were sleeping on a bus overnight. It's not easy.
Made it on the bus. Stayed in my pants trying to get rid of these ever-present under-eye bags. Shell wipe to the rescue. See you in 3 hours. We just missed sunrise, unfortunately. Got up at 2 a.m. and didn't even make it. It's so windy. Oh, it's actually staying on. There it goes. Welcome to my temple. That's a big foot. Come early, you get the whole place to yourself. Okay, my messes, officially Egypt day 3. Behind me is the Temple of Ramses II. He was part of the 19th dynasty and was the third in his family to serve, and in comparison to his father and grandfather, they served for about 20 years each. He served for a full 62 and took over many different areas in Egypt, was known as the ultimate ruler of Upper and Lower Egypt as well. And this is actually one of the only temples that was built into a cave. So this actually isn't the original. The temple itself was actually built far away from here, but it was moved to this location when they built the British Dam in Egypt because the water had risen too high into the temple, and so to preserve it, they cut it into a bunch of pieces and reassembled it. But everything that is making up the rock face on either side is actually artificial rock, and it cost them $22 million to build. And this was in the 1950s, so you can imagine what that would cost nowadays. Personally, this has been my favorite temple that we have explored so far. You'll notice that a lot of the people that are inscribed in the temple itself are holding these sort of keys, and at first you would think that that was maybe like a religious symbol, but it actually is the key of life. So anybody who is holding one of those keys in their hand, that means that they are a god. You will also notice that to my left is actually the temple of the Queen Nefertiti. I'm sure you've heard of her a lot in history books. It is very, very rare that a queen has her own temple, but she was very powerful, very controlling, and was able to control Ramses enough that he sought her as worthy of getting her own temple as well. And they depict her inside as the goddess of music, love, and motherhood. What I really appreciate out of these, not only is it cool to see a temple that is built into a cave right on the water like this, but the size of each inscription I feel like makes it a lot easier to understand. It's to be able to just have these large, extravagant depictions of gods, goddesses, kings, and people. Because they're larger, it's easier to take in and understand, in my opinion. Highly recommend coming to Abu Simbel. Since it is so early, it's only 7 a.m., it's really not that hot at the moment, but I'm sure it is supposed to reach 108 degrees today, so we will be getting out of the heat and heading to the pool very shortly before we move on to hanging out on a Felucca boat today. Very, very excited for that. Shelby, I think, has already started napping on a bench over there. Shelby? See you at our hotel. Testing out the pool. Yeah.
Please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Oh, honey, though our friendship ceases from now on.
Where is our
Please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Oh, honey, though our friendship ceases